Hello and welcome to a deep, dangerous look into the most polarizing sports car of our time. Imagine this. You are walking into a Porsche dealership with your hard-earned money. You want to see that iconic Stuttgart crest in the middle of your steering wheel. You want to hear the scream of a proper flat-six engine howling directly behind your back. But the salesman looks at your bank account and shakes his head. He points to the back of the showroom and whispers that ominous, controversial word, Boxster. Is that a victory? Or the ultimate admission of defeat? If you are asking the single most influential, grumpy, and critical man in automotive history, Jeremy Clarkson, the answer was always simple. For years, Clarkson branded this machine with a label that stuck like superglue. He called it, with absolute disdain, the ultimate hairdresser's car. According to Clarkson, the Boxster wasn't a proper Porsche. It was too cute, it was too cheap, and above all, it was a rolling declaration that your wallet simply couldn't afford a real 911. On Top Gear, he openly mocked Boxster owners, humiliated them at traffic lights, and convinced a generation that the only logical reason to buy one was that you couldn't afford anything else. But today, we are going to prove that Jeremy Clarkson was absolutely fundamentally wrong. We are going to expose the true engineering genius of this mid-engined rebel and show you why it is in fact one of the greatest driving machines ever built. This isn't just another car review. This is a story of survival, betrayal, and ultimate vindication. Get ready for the truth. To understand why this car is so important, we have to travel back to the dark days of the early 1990s. Today, Porsche is a money-printing machine, but back then the company was quite literally on its deathbed. It was hemorrhaging cash and on the verge of total bankruptcy. The 911 was getting old, and its complex rear-engine design was insanely expensive to manufacture. Their attempt at front-engine grand tours like the 928 and 968 were absolute sales disasters. Porsche was losing thousands of dollars on almost every car it produced. In a desperate act of survival, the company management made a radical gamble. They brought in Japanese manufacturing experts to optimize the factory floor and worked on a brand new, cheaper formula. It had to share components with the upcoming 911 to save money, but it also had to deliver the brand's legendary handling dynamics. In 1993 at the Detroit Auto Show, a gleaming silver concept car rolled onto the stage, and its name perfectly merged two distinct words, boxer engine and roadster body style. The Boxster was born, but its arrival would create a problem that Porsche didn't expect. When the production version, the 986, finally arrived in 1996, the automotive world split in two. Purists hated the front end because Porsche, in that same bid to cut manufacturing costs, made the nose of the Boxster absolutely identical to the upcoming 911. It shared the same controversial fried egg headlights and the same sheet metal. Critics and owners alike were furious. Porsche had blurred the lines between its entry-level car and its flagship. Everyone said, if I can buy a Boxster and have it look exactly like a 911 from the front, why would I ever spend double the price? This is precisely where Jeremy Clarkson saw his opening. He didn't just review a car, he analyzed its social status, its cool factor, and its uncompromised masculinity. And for Clarkson, the Boxster failed on every single metric. When he got behind the wheel of the original 986, he couldn't deny its balance, but he absolutely detested the image it projected. He famously looked directly into the camera and delivered a total execution of the car's soul. He said, "The Boxster is a rolling admission that your life hasn't quite gone to plan. It is for people who want the prestige of the Porsche badge, but simply do not have the cash for the real thing." Driving a Boxster is like walking into a party and having to explain that you aren't actually the person everyone thinks you are. Clarkson's war against the Boxster didn't stop there. He tore into the initial build quality, criticizing the cheap plastic buttons, the peeling center console, and the small size of the original 2.5-liter engine. He called the interior a sea of mediocrity. He suggested that the only logical reason a man would ever purchase one was if he spent his days styling hair and wearing massive designer sunglasses. The hairdresser's car label stuck so hard that in some parts of pop culture, It became the only thing people knew about the Boxster. A group of people would buy them just to be seen in a Porsche, reinforcing the exact image Clarkson created. But here is the massive, physics-based truth that the mainstream media completely ignored, and Clarkson for a long time chose to overlook. Theoretically and practically, the Boxster is a significantly better balanced sports car than its legendary older brother. Laws of physics do not care about social status or marketing budgets. A 911 places its heavy engine all the way in the back, hanging past the rear axle, behaves like a heavy pendulum. A Boxster places its engine directly in the center of the car, right against your spine. This means the center of gravity is resting perfectly in the heart of the chassis, allowing for telepathic handling. You turn the steering wheel, and the machine rotates with the exact speed of your thoughts, not the delayed motion of a rear-weighted system. Porsche's own engineers knew this, and it terrified the corporate executives. The corporate rule was strict. The entry-level Boxster will never ever be allowed to carry aggressive power figures, nor was it allowed a factory turbocharger option. If you gave a mid-engine chassis 400 horsepower and a 911 derived engine, nobody in their right mind would ever pay double the price for a rear-engined car. The Boxster was the smart younger brother, locked in a basement so the older brother could look like a king. For years, it was held back, strangled of power, and forced to play second fiddle. As the decades passed, the generations evolved. The original 986 stepped aside for the sharpened 987, the stunning 981, and finally the current 718. Then, Porsche finally released the chains, and a monster was unleashed. The Cayman GT4 and Boxster Spider models. They took the screaming, naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six engine from the 911 GT3 and shoved it directly into the middle of this compact chassis. Even a grizzled, old Jeremy Clarkson had to swallow his pride. He sat in the cockpit of the new high-performance variants and, with a genuinely shocked expression on his face, praised the chassis balance and the pure, visceral feedback. The hairdresser jokes completely vanished because a true driver knows that when a machine speaks to you that clearly through the seat of your pants, social status and image anxieties are completely irrelevant. It wasn't just a car that saved Porsche, it was a triumphant, mid-engined rebel. Today, you can scroll through the used car market and buy a first-generation Boxster for the price of a generic modern hatchback. People might still think you couldn't afford a 911, and the ghost of 90s Clarkson might even pop into your head to crack a joke about your haircut. But the second you twist that key, feel that chassis move, and carve a canyon road with zero effort, you will understand the ultimate truth. They paid for a badge and an image. You paid for pure engineering excellence. So where do you stand? Are you with 90s Clarkson, believing that if it isn't a 911, it isn't a real Porsche? Or do you respect the secret genius of the Boxster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, before you head out, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join our growing automotive family. Give this video a thumbs up if you love true drivers' cars, and check out the special links in the description part below for exclusive content. Drop the top, drop a gear, and always remember what it feels like to truly drive. Take care, and we will see you in the next deep dive into automotive history.